Ants Took My Eyeball is a 2D platforming loot-focused action roguelike which sees us fight against hordes of ants, flies and beetles in their ever-changing home turf. It has a fast and brutal combat system, countless of items to loot, and one specific reason why I actually hate it. Regardless of my deep hate for the game, I try and objectively tell you if Ants Took My Eyeball is a real fun or a refund. Sleeping in a seemingly restful forest, our main protagonist has the worst nightmare becoming reality. A bunch of ants stole his eyeball. With a beard that's an 8 out of 10 and an eyesight that's a 1 out of 2, he gets shrunk down by a mysterious creature who guides him into the anthill to get his sight back, while providing us with a furnishable base, but more on the base later. Armed with a stick, a stone and a gun lying unprotected in a chest, guess the anthill is in America, we jump, slide, crawl and swim through various levels, each with their own enemies, hidden bosses and hazardous tunnels, while we obtain new weapons, items and helpful gadgets to make our current run easier. By swinging the melee weapon, shooting the firearm or throwing the stone, we have 3 quickly working actions to perform to deal with the various enemies. These vile insects have their own attack patterns, which we need to study to perfectly avoid them by dodging or jumping out of their range. Since those attacks are rapidly coming at us, we do need to decimate the enemies as quickly as possible. Blasting through the hordes is at first simple and satisfying, while the deeper we get into the anthill, the more variety of insects we can find, with some trying to jump down on us, while others shoot javelins from afar. On top of the different enemies we encounter, they can further have additional buffs like armor to protect them, freezing effects to slow us down, or trying to cash it up with their very own ring of fire. Swinging the sword, club, dagger or axe, or shooting them down with the guns is the easiest way to deal with them, and due to the many different weapons and various effects each item has, the combat never gets stale or repetitive, especially because we have various items and tools we can obtain, affecting our game style even more. Some give us additional jumps in mid-air, increase our damage against armored enemies, or periodically fill our crit bar. Once this crit bar fills up, we perform, you guessed it, critical hit. But let's get back to the items and tools, since the former can be found in various chests and boxes, while the latter is far more interesting. In Ants Took My Eyeball, their vanquished enemies aren't vanishing into thin air, but rather their corpses stay behind. This is especially important when we encounter a sarcophagus, which not only holds said jewels, but further awakens the dead, meaning we now need to fight off the ghosts of insects. This, however, is definitely worth our while, since every found jewel enhances the effect of all other jewels, leading us to gain incredible power when disturbing the dead, like Indiana Jones.
You have chosen wise.
But Ants Took My Eyeball is not done yet with individual run progression, since we can enhance our weapons individually at the scrapyard or by helpful gadgets and items in the shop located between each level. All this progression, however, lasts as long as our run does, meaning once we bite the dust, we get rescued by our strange Samaritan, who then lets us furnish the base by spending a valuable currency we obtained during the run. These upgrades let us start out each run with more trinkets and jewels, store a coffee machine in each level for a short-term buff, give us more upgrading resources for the scrapyard and many more features. This way we have a higher chance to go deeper into the hill in the hopes of finding our eyeball, while beating the various bosses. These bosses range from a giant ant queen and a large moth, to a venomous frog and a worm, reminding me of playing Snake on a Nokia 3210. The toughness of the bosses, as well as the incredibly difficult journey through all the levels, leads me to my biggest issue with the game and why I hate it. Even after 10 hours of carefully picking my upgrades, slowly progressing and not even seeing the final boss of the game, Ants Took My Eyeball showed me my limitations. My reflexes and gaming prowess is not on the same level compared to when I was young, so even though all the incredible features, the powerful combat and the art style results in the game being a real fun instead of a refund, I still hate this game and will never play it ever again. Just kidding, one more run, come on, this time! Would you agree with my verdict? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to vacuum under your bed.